Today we are fabricating flatfish. The flatfish we have here is Fluke flatfish, like Fluke, flounder, sole, halibut. They have 4 fillets. They have 2 on the top side of the fish, and it's always darker in color, and 2 on the bottom side, which is always lighter in color. And that's kind of a camouflage scheme. So if they're on the bottom of the ocean, you can't see them from the top. And if they're on the top of the water, the other predators can't see them from the bottom into the sky. And the different part about a flatfish is they don't swim like this, even though the fins are up here and down here. They swim like this, and they have 2 eyes on one side of the head. So they have 2 eyeballs on this side, and the mouth opens that way. No eyes on the other side. So that's what's different than a flatfish or a round fish is what 90% of the fish are used to, like trout and bass and perch, red snapper, all those types of regular have 2 fillets, 1 on each side of the skeletal structure, the spine. So for this fluke, you can either use a boning knife that's nice and sharp or a fillet knife. The major difference between a boning knife and a fillet knife is this one's a little more rigid and stiff, the boning knife, meant for getting in around bones and cutting meat apart. The fillet knife is meant for fish fillets. It's a lot more flexible. You can get down and scrape, or cut things off the bone cleanly. So we'll start, we can feel where the fillet is on the top above the head. It's solid fillet up here, all the way down to the tail. But below, on the lower side, we can feel it's nice and soft. That's actually the guts, intestines of the fluke, and then you can feel, and then here it starts getting hard again, so that's where the fillet starts on the bottom. So I'll start, and I'll show you how you can use either one. I can use the sharp boning knife, and I'll start by cutting an outline. I could do it all with a boning knife or all with a fillet knife, as long as they're nice sharp knives. So I'm going to cut myself a little outline right down the spine, goes right down the middle here, and I'll cut through the skin down to that spine, and then feel where the soft starts and then where it starts to get hard, and I'll cut there. Now I can see exactly where my fillets are. One is right here, it's a little bit bigger on the top side, and one is down here. Now I'll take my boning knife or fillet knife, and I'm going to start just getting this fillet a little bit off the bone. And then I'll pry it a little more up with my left hand while I'm cutting with the right, getting a little more of that fillet off. And I'm using the flexibility of that knife to get a nice flat cut off of that graft or skeletal structure of the flatfish. Now I'll cut those off, and there we have one of them. Top fillets. Now on the other side, I'll come right down on the other side of the spine and fillet this off the same way. And you get some meat with these fins, but we're not going to use that meat for today. So we have those 2 fillets. Now you can flip the fish over, and you can do the exact same thing on the other side. So this is the guts area, so we know that we can feel where it starts getting hard. We just take it and cut right there.
Gonna put the world away for a minute, pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away. Had sweet love, but I lost it. She got too close, so I fought it. Now I'm lost in the world.
And now this one would be the smallest of the 4 fillets. And when you get this off, what you're looking for is that you left just like this, almost no meat on the bones. Nice and clean the whole way around. And the skeletal structure of the fish is called a rack in the industry. And we always keep them on ice with a perforated pan and a whole pan underneath. Okay, so we're going to skin the fish fillets now. We have a boning knife, like I said, and a boning knife and a fillet knife. The men who do this for a living have really long razor sharp boning knives. They can do it in the middle of the cutting board and just use that flexibility to get that skin right off real easy. If you have a shorter knife or a harder knife, sometimes it's better if you bring the fish closer, so now you can hold the knife flat. And regardless of which knife you're using, you start at the tail end, you start cutting in a little bit, and then you hold on to the skin, pull it nice and tight. As you can see, since I'm at the edge, I can keep my knife nice and flat as I'm cutting across and pulling on that skin. So I cut, pull, and that fast I got the skin off, nice and clean. And then we'll cut off this little bit of thin meat that we said will be on there that we're not going to use today. Clean that off. Clean this fillet. A little bit of meat there. Now we have a nice clean fillet that can, like I said, this is Fluke, but it looks about the same as flounder or sole. And we'll just save that right here. And then I'll fillet the rest of these real quick.
Come on in, the water's nice, find yourself a little slice, grab a backpack and lunch, you never know until you try. When you lose yourself, you find the key to paradise.
Here we have our skin, leftover scrap, our rack of our fish over in the ice, skeletal structure we make stock out of, and here's our nice 4 cleaned fillets that we can now use for cooking.